Perfect. You know, actually, I wanted to speak to you about something. Mahdi, again, thank you for making the time. You know,
Pleasure is all.
honestly, thank you for making the time. I know it was last minute. Omar called you, said, "Let's go." We did it. I love it because the whole idea of this is just to go free flowing.
Pleasure.
Just sit and talk. But I wanted to tell you something. Actually, yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, you were telling me that you wanted to learn. He was saying that he wanted to learn skydiving because he wanted to put himself in more kind of fight or flight places. Like he wanted to kind of face his fears and do things. And it actually made me think a bit about this podcast or whatever I'm doing. You know, I don't really like to call it anything in specific. But in a sense, it is really what I'm doing right now. It is really, in a sense, like fight or flight. Because I'm someone from university days, I could not public speak at all. Like zero. I couldn't do it. And then I started doing it, and now it's like the maximum. I'm public speaking to everyone. I'm posting to everyone. I don't care. I'm promoting even. So for me, actually, it is like a challenge. Like every time I finish shooting an episode, I feel so good. I feel like I'm full of endorphins. I feel like I did something that I, did not think I could do 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 3 years ago. So it's interesting that, you brought that up. You were talking about skydiving.
Have you ever gone viral before?
No.
Okay, so when you go viral, the dopamine effect it has on you, the challenge becomes an addiction. And then you just want to do more and more and more and more. Because when you start seeing the numbers go higher and higher and higher, and when your friend's friend tells you, hey, I saw you somewhere, it just kind of gives you that dopamine effect. And it just makes you into this monster that just wants to, like, you just post and post and post and post.
I can obviously I'm not in no way anywhere, but I'm getting like we grew like 200 followers in a day, and oh my God, the endorphins that gave me, the joy, it felt like I did it. Like I was like, this is
Wait
it.
till you grow 20,000 in a day, like, or 200,000 in a day. That's just, you just go crazy, you know.
But is it the addiction to being noticed, or is it the addiction of the challenge to go a bit more?
No, the success gives you a dopamine effect.
Seeing success.
Yeah, it's like when you run 5 kilometers or 2 kilometers or a kilometer, it creates that dopamine effect inside you because you've succeeded at something and your body feels it. Same way your mind perceives it as a success, and then it creates that dopamine effect. One interesting thing about skydiving, I've also wanted to challenge my fears for skydiving, but can we swear in this podcast? Fuck that shit. Did you know that the first fucking jump, you have to do it without anyone attached to you?
This is the best part of it.
What do you mean?
This is the best part of it.
I don't know how to jump. They just throw you out of the plane on your own.
I researched it. I think it's 2 weeks and you're ready to jump alone.
Yeah.
You start in the tunnel and the first jump is alone. And this is what we need. And I'm going to go back a bit in time of this public speaking. When we met in Trifid, we didn't plan anything. I literally just sat. And when you told me let's do a podcast, I was like, So when I sat in their meeting room, a guy called Burj, a very nice, driven guy, he came, he put a tripod, and I was like, shit, there's cameras.
Here we go.
And it started, I was like, no, fuck it, let's do it. He's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, okay. He put it, and we rolled.
Yeah.
So how I approach my life is so there's a person called Umar, who is me, and there's Umar's advisor and consultant, who is me as well. So in such scenarios, I put myself as a third person, and I have to observe every single word or every single move I did. So when he sent me the podcast, I watched it, and I said, why were you tripping on not wanting to do a podcast?
So nice.
It was super. It was unbelievable. Well-spoken, amazing rhythm. And since then I said, let's go crazy. Let's do skydiving. Let's challenge ourselves and let's grow, because you only know who you really are in challenges. Why I chose skydiving? Because I think in extreme sports and then out of comfort zone, there's nothing like skydiving. You're jumping from an airplane, I don't know at what number altitude, but you're going crazy. A fucking airplane door opens and it's just you and your parachute. And you have to believe in yourself, because you pack your parachute.
Yes, you pack it.
I couldn't do it.
You pack your parachute.
I know, I've been there.
But have you done it tandem?
Yeah, I've done 10 tandems, but the thing is that it's fine. It gets you the adrenaline rush. It's great. For entrepreneurs, it's beautiful, because I know some entrepreneurs that once a month, they just go in the morning, jump off a plane, and when they come down, they feel fresh because they're releasing all of this adrenaline, stress, all this anxiety. It just goes. So I wanted to do it professionally, as on my own. Then I went there. I'm like, so how does it work? They're like, yeah, so 10 days to 2 weeks you do theory on ground, and then you just go on a plane and you jump.
Let's do it.
I'm like, what do you mean no? So I'm like, wait, hold on. So my first jump is on my own.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, so wow, hold on. Who's there gonna tell me what to do when I'm like midair coming down at the speed of whatever? I'm like, no.
It's on another level to just, but yeah, I mean, to just jump alone, I think.
Have you done tandem?
I have done tandem.
Imagine now you're on your own.
But tandem, I mean, for me, it was not scary at all, like zero. So maybe I could do,
You feel like someone's behind you that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, but you know what you are doing more than that someone behind you. I want to go crazy. I never did tandem. I never did bungee.
You've never done tandem?
I never done anything.
And you want to go all in
100%
straight
I'm going to
away?
do it. And I make sure to talk about the things I'm going to do. Always I make sure to talk about the things I want to do because I have to do it. You can't just talk and not walk the talk. So I talk about everything I want to do, and I force myself to walk the talk. I'm going to skydive, and I'm going to go crazy, guys. After my tour, I'm going to finish my tours. I'm going to finish everything this summer. When I come back, the weather's beautiful. One morning, I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to say, fuck it, let's jump from an airplane. Nice. And I'm going to do it. And you're coming with me.
Good luck.
I'll
come with you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
If there's some,
If you guys want to do it,
let's all do it.
Someone's. I'm always this person. I believe in having people around you with the same mindset really pushes you in whatever you want to accomplish. So I don't believe, people say you need to be independent and, you're on your own, you're solo. No, if you have the right people with you, you can achieve
definitely
much more than you imagine, true.
Yeah. I mean, like this guy, Joey Diaz, just give me 10 strong motherfuckers and I'll take over the world. If you really have a good group of people around you, you can really, you can do whatever you want. You can truly do whatever you want. Yeah. But I mean, skydiving, if you guys want to do it, we can do it.
I
don't know if you've tried bungee jumping.
I've done it all.
Bungee jumping is scarier. For me, bungee jumping would.
No, for me it's not. For me it's for me it's the thought that if I don't have something in my head knowing that this thing is, so it's bungee jumping, you're attached to something and that thing is attached to another thing.
But it could snap.
But also the parachute cannot open, so these things are too extreme.
Yeah.
But with the skydiving thing, it's like, wow, man, it's my first jump. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But then the safety things. If you reach a certain altitude, the parachute opens on its own. All the things are that. But I don't know, man.
So I think the fear of skydiving, not the fear, the main risk of skydiving is spinning. Like what happens to people is they start spinning, and when you start spinning, like that guy, the Red Bull guy who jumped from space, like when you start spinning, you pass out, and then you're done. Like I don't know.
But then the parachute opens at a certain altitude.
But if you're spinning a lot, it will kind of wrap around you as well.
We're not going to space. We're not going to space.
So we're gonna learn enough on theory on ground, then we know what to do. Yeah, we just
have you ever done the tunnel? I couldn't even do the tunnel.
I've done nothing. And the first thing I'm going to do is in the training. I already have the trainers.
The wind tunnel.
No, I've done the tandem. I've not done the tunnel.
I have the trainer's number. I'm going to do it. I'm serious.
Let's do it.
I'm going to do it.
I've always wanted to do it.
So just imagine you jumping from a plane, and when you land, that connection you have with yourself, that drive, it's unbelievable. And this is what we need. We need, in my point of view of life, we need constant, like uncomfortable scenarios for you to be the best, literally the best version of yourself. And when you constantly put yourself in uncomfortable scenarios and you start realizing what of a strong motherfucker I am, why have I been sleeping? So I get my experience from people who are older than me, my brother, his friends, whoever are close to me. And I decided that I'm getting free experience that I have to utilize, and if I didn't utilize this experience, I'm cheating myself. So they regret, not you, not him, people older than me. Some people regret not starting a business. I'm going to start a business. Some people regret not studying. I'm going to study. Some people regret not working. I'm going to work. Some people regret not producing content. I'm going to produce content. Let's go crazy.
It really goes back to understanding that you only live once. Like if you really, really think about it, that you really understand that this is only one time. Do whatever you want.
Let's go crazy.
Just do whatever you want. What's gonna happen? Like I've had people that I've tried to bring on the podcast, and they're, I don't know. And I said, look, there's two things that could happen. One, no one watches it, then nothing to worry about, or a lot of people watch it, but then you're on a platform and you're talking to hundreds of thousands of tens of. So it's a win-win. Like, it really is a win-win. If I put you on a stage in front of 10,000 people, come on, you know how many people 10,000 people is? It's like a football stadium. It's a lot of people.
But I believe it takes so much for a person to actually digest the fact of who he really is and what will happen if he came out and spoke, because people have a fear of speaking to people they don't know off cameras. And since I was a young boy or whatever you want to call it, I always spoke to the most random people. I'd fucking stop a taxi and say, come, what's your life story? Where are you from? Really?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, and you learn so much. When I was young, I always talked to taxis because this is the most people I've seen, you know? All our logistics are done with taxis. You'd be surprised. Most of the taxis are either engineers or doctors and stuff, and they were just unfortunate to be in this phase. But the conclusion of the story is to just speak, and he said it, you live once, guys. Go crazy.
And, you know, another thing actually that I thought about this yesterday, that I'm here actually to argue that speaking to someone, you not only gain knowledge or experience from this someone, but you actually are able to extract more from yourself. Because I think talking things out loud actually, you know, makes your brain go tuk, 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 tuk,
100%, yeah.
Like, you know, when you have a problem, I speak to myself out loud. If I'm working, I start speaking to myself out loud and I start to solve things. So I think when you actually speak to someone, not only are you gaining from that person.
I believe in that. In Trifid, one thing I do in the company, my salespeople, I don't train them anymore. The last person starts teaching the new person, and when they start teaching, they learn more.
Yeah.
So it's like a loop. So I've created the system where I'm like, I'm out. I taught a few people. Now they've started to teach the others. And then the new people start teaching the new people, because it just goes in a cycle.
And it's constantly changing and becoming better as well with time. It's not the same, you know, paper-based process that
it's like that with everyone and everything. And that's how with content goes as well. People think that if you're repetitive with content, it's wrong. It's not. I have this thing that I do in the mornings. We meditate for 5 minutes. And I have this 2 lines that I say, phones away, laptops away. And I've posted maybe 30 videos, starting with the sentences, phones away, laptops away, 5 minutes, breathe. I have closed maybe 6-7 clients recently that have come into my office and said, hey, phones away, laptops away.
It became your thing.
We were talking about it yesterday. I showed him the video.
Yeah, so it's a repetitive thing. So it's not just with people it's everything, you know.
It's part of your brand. These 2 sentences are basically your brand now. Like, there's another podcast, I forgot what he says. He always says he's always drinking coffee. He said, I'm always drinking coffee. And because he said that, I started always drinking coffee because, one, I like coffee, but because he had the vision later on to start a coffee brand. So all the time he's drinking coffee, always with coffee. And, you know, it's became like part of his brand, part of his thing.
Yeah.
I'm starting a coffee brand.
Ice coffee brand.
After this guy that I did before.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's not easy doing things that, what I wish that people understood, that it's not easy doing things that are uncomfortable. And like Omar said it, like, I forgot who said it, like, success is a series of uncomfortable events. You know, as the more uncomfortable your life is, the more you're on the right path. If it's comfortable, there's something wrong. Like, you know, like they always say, like, if you're comfortable at your job, just leave, you're done.
Comfortable is uncomfortable for me.
Comfortable is uncomfortable because you have the understanding of that comfort is a bad thing. So it starts making you uncomfortable.
I think being comfortable, in my point of view, only comes when you're dead. You can't be comfortable. You cannot just settle. You can't just settle.
You know the story with the ice bath thing? Yeah. I'm like, you know, he doesn't have problems. He's looking for problems.
Yeah. Literally. Put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. What I do is, when I start feeling comfortable, obviously I don't believe in any psychological diseases or whatever it's called. I start feeling like angry. Why am I comfortable? I need to learn something. Open Canva. You're talking about open Canva. Try mess around with Canva. Open Facebook Ads Manager and learn something. Open a video, a bit of whatever.
Just read.
Just throw yourself at something. And when you're done, you get that rush of, this is what I need. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I've lost around 20 kilos since the beginning of the year. Constant, uncomfortable scenarios make you the strongest motherfucker alive, in my point of view. Well, the strongest motherfucker alive in your world, because it's your world, it's only you. This is how I see it. I don't care if somebody's stronger than me or weaker. If you're weaker and I can pull you up, I will pull you up. But if you're stronger than me, good job. Good job. I'm not racing with anyone. I'm racing with myself, because nobody knows what you're really capable of. Not even you. Until you constantly put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, then you look back and you say, wow, I never expected myself to be this strong, to be this dedicated, to be this driven. And when you start seeing the results, you have to keep going. And this is what is going with Mahdi. I believe he's going crazy. I think, did you lose your mind yet?
No, not yet.
I think in the process you lose your mind, and the best part of it is losing your mind. And this is what happened with me. When you lose your mind and you're fully focused on constantly evolving in whatever you do.
Oh no, if that's the definition of losing my mind, I've lost my mind.
Yeah, and that's the best thing you can do, because you're no longer involved in life's bullshit. You're just involving in basically evolving to a better person. Even if I told our friend Abdullah, he said, man, I want to change and I don't know where to start. I said, start with just drinking 2-3 liters of water a day. Start with, breathing before you sleep. And small
things that make a difference.
And
I made February this year. I made myself a promise. I'll post 5,000 videos this year for the year. I've done maybe 1,500 posts until now across my businesses, myself, platforms. In the past 3 months, 250 million views.
Wow. That's on your personal account?
Across everything I own or my personal accounts. Across every single platform that's out there. And it's just blown up. The other day, one of my employees was coming back from Tajikistan. And she told me the person sitting behind me was watching Trifid's videos, and I could hear this girl's voice. And that to me was like, wow.
When Omar told me actually, the owner of Trifid, and I didn't know the actual company, but I've seen your reels everywhere, and I even tell them, like, is this the company that does Amani?
Yeah.
What is the Instagram? This? Oh my God, my Instagram feed is just this, and it's easy content to watch. It's just nice, easy.
It's called
content.
edutaining content, so it's educational and entertaining at the same time. You're giving
like
back
that.
to the people that are watching. You give back 100 times, and then when the one time that you ask for something back, that one time people actually give you back.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts with you not shoving down your brand down people's throats from the beginning of when you start promoting something or your business or even your personal self. Today, everyone that puts out content puts it out for a reason. Influencers put it out because they become influencers to make money. Brands put it out because they want to make money. Entrepreneurs put it out so one day they end up selling their courses and whatnot to make money. Yeah. Everything is revolving around that. But what works most is edutaining. So you're actually giving back and then expecting to take in return. And I'm documenting. You will run out, right? Why do you think podcasts work so well? Because it's organic. We didn't plan this. We're here having a conversation. Hopefully in the 60 minutes talk that we have, we get 10 short clips that click. And then if it clicks, it leads you to the long version on YouTube or wherever, and then you get the views. That's the whole concept of what podcasts are. So I took that, and my mentor is Gary Vee. I look up to this guy. Like, I sleep with him. I wake up with him on YouTube. And I listen to him all the time. And his main reason to success is he's documenting his process, and that's what I did when you came to the meeting.
Yeah,
we would have had that meeting regardless. So it's not like he came in. I'm like, listen, are you okay in being in front of the camera? He said, sure, yeah, no problem. So I just put up a thing and I just recorded, and I got like 4 or 5 pieces of short content and a long format content. In that meeting, we talked about ice baths, we talked about the business, we talked about how we could potentially make money. So it's educating to either an older person that's not relevant to the content era, or a younger person that's going to get into the content era. So we're educating as many people as we can. Even if 10 people watch it, it's still 10 people watching it. And that's how you kind of grow, 5 years I've had this business. I've had more than 5,000 people work for the company. Today we're at like 150 people, but we're like going big. Nice. And it's working. And like for me, it's like I'm coming from this perspective. I'm like, okay, chill, Mahdi, like relax. Something has worked. Don't be over your head, and see how you can actually maneuver that to change, because we're doing it with young people. Average age in Trifid is 23. And they're like, I have 16-year-olds in the company with the consent of their moms and dads doing an internship program at the company. And they are the ones that perform better than some 30-year-olds that I've worked with for the longest time. And that's the beauty of the industry that we're in. And everything revolves around content. Everything revolves around content. Your life is content. So why not document it and pull out the things that are confidential, that are private, that are not meant to go out for certain people's ears or eyes. Put it out, but put the rest in. And just, you know what? Post. Be blind to it. And don't care about anyone's opinion as long as you're being respectful, as long as you're being ethical, as long as you're not damaging anyone's culture, religion, you're not diving into politics. Keep away from these 3 topics. Go ahead.
Just post.
If someone comes and says, haters are known as keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
We came across one.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah,
They just can just type there.
And you know, actually, when haters comment, that's still engagement. It's still.
I like it.
But to your point, you know, about just posting, you know, as long as you stay away from delicate subjects or politics or religion or whatever, just post. I even told Omar that for me, I record a podcast, I watched it once. I only watch my podcast once, just to see. I do a few trims up and down here and there, and that's it. I never see it again. And then the team posts, and that's it. I don't care, because I know I've watched it, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care if someone thinks it's bad quality or good quality, if I look nervous, if I don't look comfortable. I don't really care.
Content.
It's content.
It's content.
Like,
you can't start perfectly. You can never start perfectly. You have to constantly, as he said, you have to constantly post, and you will just learn and master the skill with time. It can take a week, it can take a month, it can take a year, it can take 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. Mr. Beast counted to, I think, 1 billion at some point in his life. And where is he now? So
it took him years to become something.
Years. So you have to just believe in yourself, trust the process, genuinely trust the process, and just push. Yeah. And it will come. If it didn't come, that means you're expecting it to come earlier than it should come.
Yeah,
keep pushing.
Zero expectations.
Yeah, just keep pushing until it comes. Don't wait. I never put a deadline. I never put any date related. Okay, benchmark. I'm going to reach April 17. If it comes, it comes. No, there's no date.
I have that with myself, but no, I don't have it like when expecting something from others. I expect it from myself. So I go like, I'm posting right now 9 posts a day across platforms, and I collaborate, and then TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat, you have all of them, right? So in total, in a day, I post, the company and myself together post 40 pieces of content a day. These are not stories, these are posts. And then we kind of, you know, push them out on stories and whatnot. And the more I'm growing, I'm finding it more difficult to grow, so I have to feed this monster more. Mm-hmm. So I started with 3 posts a day, now then I went to 5, 7, 9, 10, 40. God knows what's going to happen in about a year's time.
You've lost your mind, my friend.
But I mean, but
it's good. I'm happy.
Of course.
But these are like goals. I think what Omar was trying to say is that, you know, just have discipline and don't expect things to come easy. Like, for example, like when I started this, I said to make it easier for myself mentally, I said that I'm going to dedicate a year of my life. A year of my life, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to look at anything else. I'm just going to do it because I enjoy it. It's like a hobby. And at the end of the day, it's like betting on myself. You know, this obviously costs money. This is a sunken cost. But I don't care. It's like, for me, it's like going out to the arcade and wasting money. I enjoy this. I enjoy the process. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy looking at my content. And it's like a house. You have to start with the bricks. I always say, you know, there's some people who expect things fast. And I say that if you're thinking about building a house, you can't start focusing about what color the curtain is. You have not even laid the foundation yet. Just forget the curtain. Let's start with the foundation. Then let's build. Then let's take it step by step. Don't overwhelm yourself.
The people who think of the curtain, they don't really want to build.
They don't want to really build.
Honestly speaking, if you can go dive deep in their minds, they don't really want to build because subconsciously they're putting excuses to restrict them from reaching the goal. But in real life, start.
Because they want to fight.
Yeah,
They don't want to fight. They want to run.
Yeah, start. Then start thinking of the curtain. You haven't dug the hole and you want the curtain. Come on.
Yeah. And to Mahdi's point as well, like, you know, for example, we'll shoot this and let's say we get 10 good minutes of content. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, let's say it's a scrap, the whole thing.
And then what if out of those 10 pieces of content, one goes viral and suddenly 2 million people see it, 100,000 people see it? It's just, you know, it will change things around. And you just need to be consistent. There's no secret sauce. Be consistent. You know, make sure a few things are met in your content: quality, sound, and the hook, which is important. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and this is something that you can actually. I think it's not just with content; it's with everything in life. Anything that you really want to do, if you're doing it, I truly believe that one, if you start doing it not because of the money, and two, you're consistent and disciplined, you will do whatever you want. Like I forgot, it was a book or a study that they said it takes 40 hours or 40 days to master a skill. I forgot the exact number, but they studied it. It takes a set number of hours to master any skill. So just do it, just start. There's no harm. And I always say, like, worst case scenario. I always like to look at worst case scenario. If I do something, what's the worst case that can happen?
Nothing.
Nothing. There's literally always nothing. I always say, as a living organism, not to be morbid, but as a living organism, the worst thing possible is for me to die. That is the worst case scenario. As a living organism, the worst case scenario is to die and then maybe prison and all this. But really is your livelihood, your health. Everything else doesn't matter.
But is dying a problem? Is dying a worry?
Not really. I'm not saying it's a worry.
No, I'm dead serious.
Next time we go.
No, I'm dead serious. No, let's discuss this point. If you are 100% genuine with yourself and you're 100% where you want to be, then I wouldn't mind dying now.
But it's not a worry. I mean, a worst case scenario.
I don't like to die. I just have this thing.
because you believe you're the best version of yourself and you wish you can live forever.
Great, I would love that. But also, I believe that in the next 10 years, we're gonna have very, very advanced technology that's gonna allow us immortality.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in it so strongly, and it's one of my drives today to be very, very successful, so I can have a lot of money. I don't want to say how much, right? And I don't want a lot of money to have the nicest watches or the cars or the mansions or the lives. No. I want to have a lot of money to be able to be available, have access to that technology, which is going to allow me to access that immortality so I can experience space travel and life in space.
But you can live forever. A legacy can live forever. Newton never died.
I don't want that. I don't
cannot
mind.
experience
I
space
don't
travel.
mind. Legacy, let it live. I don't mind. My spirit can live. I don't mind. I don't
How
want
does your
to.
spirit live? Like in a butterfly?
No, but like it's not that. So I don't know, man. I don't want to tap into different topics. But what I personally believe in the next decade, we're gonna have sleeping pods available to the public that you can just go in and choose to sleep for 10 years and just wake up.
Would you do it?
I would do it.
How many years would be the maximum that you would do?
I would do it 30, 40 years. I
Really?
don't mind. Yeah. I'll do different intervals. I don't mind. As long as I know.
It doesn't worry you?
No, it doesn't
What if you
worry
wake
me.
up and the world ended?
No, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Wow. I mean,
Because I'm willing to see what the world is going to
40
become.
years is crazy.
I don't mind. I'd love to do that. So I know it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be very, very expensive.
I think a lot of it, health and just upkeep and all this takes a lot of money. Just eating very healthy, eating properly is an expensive thing to do.
True.
Like
That's my drive. My drive isn't, the posh, fancy lives people try to, the materialistic stuff. That's not it. My thing is looking at what Elon Musk is trying to achieve with space travel. And it's a passion, it's a dream for me. I love to kind of be available to that kind of life. And I know that if I'm making little money or whatever, I can't experience it.
Yeah.
So I have to be amongst the 1%. I have to. And I will do whatever it takes to be in that 1%, not just for me, but for my family as well, if they choose to be going through that. And I want to experience that.
I agree with you. I think a lot of it, buying material things is irrelevant. A lot of it is experiences, like, just experiencing life. There's a lot of experiences that require money or whatever it is. It requires money. And maybe space travel, all of these things will require money. And to your point, it will require a lot of money. I don't know. I think now 250,000 to go with Virgin Galactic. Like, it's
crazy money, right?
It's a
So you
different
need
sport.
that, yeah.
It's a different sport. It's not really...
I believe in science. I believe so much in science and technology.
But would you go on the trial phase?
The thing is that no, I don't need to go. I'm building myself up, and as and when it becomes from a beta version, it goes into like a proper version. Then I can actually experience it. I'm 29. If I have a good 21 years left on my life to start experiencing being old. I'm young until I'm 50, right? I'm young until my balls drop. So like I'm good where I am. I think
So I think I'm not young anymore. Shit. So I have a question for you. You said if they gave you the option to sleep for 40 years, you'd take it. But what would you do before sleeping for 40 years?
I'd make sure that everything I have will be secured, and I'm sure the service providers of such a service will have that option available for someone to ensure that unless a rock comes down to planet Earth and destroys Earth, or someone blows something up, then it will be gone. Then it's secured and safe. And I'm good. I'll just go to sleep.
Wow, 140 years. I can't.
I'll
even
go to sleep and I'll wake up, and then that's the challenge.
Oh,
That's a
a
challenge.
completely new era. That's
Oh my
nice.
God.
That's a new level. That's
You wake up, you're like,
completely level.
It's like living two lives.
like imagine you went to sleep in the 80s, you woke up in 2020.
Yeah.
Just imagine going to sleep 15 years ago, not even 40.
Man, going to sleep pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah. 5 years ago.
Literally, pre and post.
It's true. 40 years, I can't even imagine.
2019 to 2023, you would find difficulties coping initially. And this is a nice challenge. So when you find that pod, just make sure you book two. Just make sure you book two. Yeah,
I would
why
love
not?
it. This is my ultimate.
But what if you had a family?
No, then you know what? I make sure I communicate with the people that I love that this is my goal, my dream, my vision.
This is what you worked for.
And you gotta accept it, right? So if this becomes an availability, then you either come with me or appreciate the fact that I want to do it on my own. This is it. I communicate. I make sure I communicate this with anyone that I love, whether it's my close family or it's someone that I want to build a family with in the future. Doesn't matter. I communicate it. You don't like it?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Life is not gonna come to an end if I don't end up with you. I'm good.
Even if she's your wife?
I mean, she's not. I don't have a wife
If
yet.
you had a wife at some point.
Then I wouldn't. If I had a wife and I'd be like, I want to, because I communicate, right? I get to know someone before I jump into anything, 100%. And it's not just with my close family or thing, even with work. I get to know people, then I jump into something with them. And if I communicate it and this person is against my views of life, I'll be like, okay, then we don't.
I like that
match.
because in the end of the day, it is your life. I always, for me, with any decision that I take, there's a very last point that in the end of the day, this is my life. And, I don't want to grow old, to your point, to grow old and then think, I didn't do that. Not only did I did not do that because I wasn't able. I did not do that because someone did not want me. Imagine the pain of being old and, I've never done that because X person said I shouldn't. Oh, you would.
That's a disaster.
And that X person there's a good chance, let's talk about parents. They might not even be alive. And you just wasted your one life because you didn't want to upset someone. So I always say, whoever's upset, they might be upset for a week or a month or a year. Eventually they'll survive.
So it's just my mindset. Three things that are very close to me is mother, father, and future person that's going to be my partner. Even my kids. I'm not going to give them what I have. My dad never gave me what he had. He was like, go fucking do it.
And you did
Literally, he had all the money. He had everything that he ever wanted in his life. I'm like, give it to me. He's like, no. He looked at me and he's like, no. Why will I give it to you? It's my hard work. Go do it.
But he supported you.
You know what? My mom always told me he's like a cat father. So how cats treat their children. They won't give a shit about the child. When they see the child falling, they will go and grab them by their neck, right? So he's like that. He will not give a fuck. He will not do anything, but he always has his eyes on you. And if he sees you falling so hard, he will come to your rescue or to help you or whatever. Otherwise, he's just that. So with me, it's the same. It's like, let's say I want to go to sleep. I'll make sure my wife, my partner, if I have one by that day, by that time, is good, secured. If my mom and dad are alive by that time, good and secured. My kids, fuck them. Let them do their thing.
Well, this is a very important point, and I want whoever listens to this to understand. If you are in your early or late teens or early 20s and your father is pressuring you to a certain point and you say, fuck him, why is he doing that, fuck that, you'd only come to realize how much this pressure you talked about is so valuable for where you are now, because if it was put for you on the table, you wouldn't have been 10% where you are now. And
guts.
it's so valuable.
I hated his
and
guts.
Now you love him.
I love him
because
to
you wouldn't
bits.
have
He's
been
my best friend.
And
I hated his guts. We didn't speak for a very long time because we never matched, we never synced. And he's just like,
I
today
mean,
I'm like, I appreciate that.
I think I had the same thing as well. I mean, I don't want to use hate because hate, but as a young person, I did
When
hate.
I say
I
not
did
hate.
but
I disliked
click.
his ways. We did not click. Hate is a big word. I agree. I disliked his ways. We did not ever click. Ever click. So it turned into me at the time when I was 17, 16, 17, going like, I hate you.
yeah.
You know, so
We all went through that.
yeah, so but then now today I love him so much.
Because you understand things better.
Yeah.
But also, one thing that helped me as well understand my parents a bit more is that they are doing, I don't know again where I read this, but they are doing the best that they can. They might be doing a shitty job, but in their head, they are doing the best they can, the best they know. This is, based on their own childhood, based on their own parents, based on their own upbringing. They lived a completely different life. My father lived a completely different life than I did. And based on that, this is the product of this kind of generation. And they are doing the best they can. They might, their father might have been even worse than he is, and I will be, and so on. So, thinking about it from that perspective helps as well, because you're like, you know what? They're really just trying their best. They can't change. They're too old. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. You have to understand the sacrifice that
And no one ever taught them parenting. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
Who teaches parents how to parent?
Definitely not their parents. Definitely not their parents.
But
because
they learn from their parents. It's like the cycle, right?
they were narcissists. Most of our grandfathers' eras, no, I don't mean anything, but their era was too tough in terms of the wars they've been through, the resources they had.
It was survival.
It was
They had to be
survival,
tough.
like cavemen. So then it was passed down to our family, our fathers, and if your father is in the 50s, 60s, late 60s maximum, they went through that shift of a bit of technology starting from parents that were in the military, hardly eating, and it's like a shock for them. And I think with time we're just more conditioned to those shocks, because we've even our era, like I'm a 90s boy, a mid 90s boy, and we've been through so much. We've been through so much in terms of technology, in medicine, in the economy, and the opportunities. If you were to sit now and think of an opportunity that you would take now, and you had 5 minutes, it's difficult. There's not much left if you think about it. And this itself is a challenge. That's why I go back to saying uncomfortable. You have to say uncomfortable to go out of this norm and just go crazy and find something that nobody could find. Because it takes you to be crazy to get that thought.
True. And, a lot of it as well, I think to your point as well, a lot of people, they don't adapt to the changing times. Like a lot of people, they stay how they are because they are unable to adapt. Like I think now, even what we're doing right now, this is us adapting to the new world, knowing that there is new form of communication, new form of information sharing, new form of content creation, whatever it is. We're adapting, we're changing with time, we're accepting the change of time. You can dislike it, you cannot agree with it, but this is it. This is the time. You have to just be with the time. Like I can't be like, oh, ChatGPT, AI, I hate it. No. Either use it or get the fuck out.
I say always, if I were ever to have a superpower, would be adaptability. I want to be 50 and a 19-year-old comes to me and goes like, hey man, bro, what's up? This is the next G thing, this is what we got. I'd be like, okay, I believe you, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Because these would be the people that would take the world forward in the future. And I've only learned that by dealing with them. I've dealt with young people for the past 5 years, 5,000 of them. And I tell you what, man, they're different. They're not the same mindset as the 90s. Very different. I have employees today or people in the company that are 2003, 2004. That's crazy, thinking about 2004. Wow.
Yeah.
But then they're the people that are actually helping me make money in my business. And in the next 10 years, they're going to be the people that are going to be driving the economy forward and. So it's always going to be the case, because psychology says this. When you reach the age of 25, your mind stops. Mm-hmm. It's comfortable. So trying to change your ways after the age of 25 it's not impossible, becomes difficult. So for me, it's like, okay, I always want to be able to adapt to those people, because those are the ones that are going to take things forward. one thing, Discord. Any of you heard
I
of
use
Discord?
Discord,
You use Discord, right?
A lot, yes.
Okay, so a lot. Not a lot of people in your age use Discord. Not
Yeah.
a lot. Maybe very small percentage. But if I told you every 16, 17-year-old knows how to use Discord,
This is why they bought Discord, right?
yeah, so
But isn't better than the applications or whatever you want to call it that the corporates pay to use? Like you can use Discord for your company to share files,
I
to
think
talk,
Discord
to
for a
plan.
company is basically what Slack is.
Yeah, I didn't want to say company names,
what I'm
but
trying to
it's
say
free.
is Discord is taking over, and in the next 5 years, it's going to become very common, and then probably a giant is going to come and buy it.
Right.
But
and
they
then
were didn't they were already sold, didn't they?
I don't know
I think
about
Microsoft or
information,
someone.
but
One of-
I
yeah.
know that it's going to
massive.
become, in the near future, the next communication platform for everyone, very similar to what WeChat is in China.
Yeah.
I think in a sense you could compare it, but then anyone between the ages of 25 and 40, probably very small. If you
Yeah.
say there's 100,000 people between those ages, probably 1,000 of them use Discord
Or
daily,
know how to use this.
or know how to use Discord.
Mhm.
99,000 don't.
Yeah.
So, and it's gonna become the next form of communication, and that's not just with Discord. That's how TikTok took off. TikTok was a platform for kids, literally kids. It was known 2019. I partnered up with TikTok, officially TikTok. I was doing workshops for TikTok in my facility, and everyone that I talked to about TikTok told me, "You want me to come dance in front of the camera? What is this children's application? Kids for kids? I don't." Today, businesses start, evolve, go viral, become multi-million-dollar organizations from TikTok. So it's literally the same thing, and it's all because that 17-year-old thought about something, did it, and then it worked. So for me, it's always adapting.
I have
to
an
those
idea.
people.
Let's dance now, all of us, and take this short and put it on TikTok.
But I think like I use Discord, but to your point, like not a lot of people. But I think this is something that a lot of people don't do in general. Is that they judge things without trying things. Like for me, I'm the kind of person, if I read about something or I see something, I don't just judge it. I like to read about it. I like to go and try it. I like to see what's up. Why is everyone talking about TikTok, for example, when it went famous? I downloaded it. I was going through. I need to use it. I need to know how. And this is something that I had from when I was very young. Like I'm very good at using computers, but that was never taught to me. That was because my father one day when I was 5 brought a desktop, the big screen, everything. And it just sat there. I remember, I don't know why he bought it. He doesn't know how to use it. It just sat there. And I just experienced. I started creating Word documents, PowerPoint slides, Excel sheets, because that was the game. Like that was how I was playing. And then Word clip, like I don't know if you remember, like Word clip and all that, and doing all that. And then you just the more you experience things, the more you can then judge on things. Like only after you actually try it can I say, actually I don't like this. This isn't my thing.
Adaptive, as you said, being able to
Adaptability.
adapt.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world.
Biggest skill.
Hmm?
It's a crazy skill. If
Yeah.
you only need to have, because the more you grow older, the more you build pride, you build certain amount of ego, you change, you
build
evolve as
walls
a
as well,
human,
yeah.
right? It's hard to adapt.
Yeah.
But if you learn how to always be able to listen to those kids, you'll be successful. Always.
I wish the parents nowadays are a bit better with kids. I always think about that. I mean, not all parents, obviously, but there are some parents you think, just give them a chance. Like, just give your child a chance. For example, if your child is an excellent gamer, let them play some video games. Let them play video games. Like there's nothing wrong with that. If you never know, you might do it, and in 3 years he might retire you. Think about that. I always think about it as I don't have children, obviously, but I always think as my children, they're my investment. And I am building this investment. Like right now, I can take a child who likes go-karting and I can say, you know what? My mission is from A to Z to put you in F3, F2, F1. This is what we're going to do. If they like it, obviously. I'm not going to force anything on anyone. But just invest in this child. Do things for this. But right now, I think, a lot of these parents that don't have adaptability, they don't want to change with the time. They have a script that their father did, that their father's fathers did. Now they're copying their father, and their sons will eventually copy his father. And
It takes so much to not be busy in this world. You have to be a tough guy not to be busy, because people are too busy with the noise, with the shit they feed your mind, with the reels, with TikTok, with all that. And nothing wrong with everything that's put for us, but you need to control it. Sorry to say this, but a mother or a father who doesn't give chance, if they are both working, mothers and fathers, unfortunate for the child, he won't get that of a childhood, because his mother or father don't know how to control their emotions. They come back from work, they're pissed off, just shut up, go play with the maid in your room, blah, blah, blah. But if the mother or father, one of them works and the other's at home, listen to the children. Believe me, the children who are 5 and 6 now, they are magical. They are magical. I sit with all my friends' daughters and whether it's children, and when you talk to them, like, I wish my father or mother spoke to me when I was young and actually gave me the chance to be myself and not to feel like a hostage.
Yeah.
The problem is children and young, they feel like a hostage when they're around their children, well, when they're around their families or mother or father, because they're scared to do the wrong thing.
And they can't wait to grow up and leave.
Yeah, just they want to grow up and remove that bubble they've put in. But if you genuinely just have a nice relationship with your son, you'd be amazed. If a child is raised without all the restrictions and the anger and putting them in traumatic scenarios that take so much for them to heal from, you come to realize, wow, what a human those children are. 5, 6-year-olds, they speak. It's magical. It's magical. And I advise all parents to just give your children a chance. You'd be amazed at some things that even be smarter than you, and nothing wrong with it. Yeah. And how they approach things, unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, to your point as well, I mean, a lot of people will not agree about this, but I think that, bringing up a child is one of the most important things ever. It is the single most important thing you have to do as a parent. And I think right now, because of the raising expense of living, both parents have to work. So the child is just there on the iPad with the maid. And that's why I really think, again, I'm probably going to get the mom or one of the parent, I'm not going to say the mother, one of the parent should be in charge of the household. One of the parents should be in charge of making money. I truly believe that the correct system is that, because being in charge of the household is not an easy thing.
No, it's not.
It's the most difficult thing ever. It's very difficult to do this day in and day out, non-stop, and discipline your children and watch them and talk to them, interact with them, grow them, like a plant. But right now, I think we just think that children, they bring themselves up, we put them in schools, and then after school activities, they come back home at 6, they're on their iPad, they sleep, rinse and repeat. And it's just sad, sometimes I look at it and you look at really like a diamond in the rough almost. Like some kids are really I think if I just take this kid, I just manage this kid, I can make something out of this
Everybody's
kid.
a diamond in the rough. Every single human is a diamond in the rough. But it takes, sometimes you need to dig your diamond out.
Yeah.
And I think you can relate to this. I can relate. You can. Everybody who reached a specific place in his life, and it's not where he wants to be, but on the way to where he wants to be. You just need to dig it out. Don't wait for someone to dig it out. When you're young, if you're fortunate for your family to dig it out, you're the most fortunate person in the whole world. If you weren't, you're also the most fortunate, because you will get to see that diamond to yourself. You'll get to dig so fast to make up the time you lost. And it's a win-win, but not many people would understand. You have to dig. You have to.
And
again,
it hurts to polish the diamond. You're taking some things out of yourself. I think, some people, I think there's, logical and emotional people, and some people have a good balance, and some people are more logical. If you really think about things logically, I always say, zoom out. If you really just zoom out, you can understand things better. You can understand, like you said, like you have Omar yourself, and then Omar your
consultant, advisor.
And then, sometimes you zoom out and you can actually tell yourself things, and, actually, this is happening because of this. I feel like this right now because this is happening. The more you understand that you are a being that you cannot really control, like chemically, you start becoming better at managing yourself. And I think, this is how you polish the diamond. You start polishing, it hurts, but you start managing yourself better, managing your emotions, managing stress, managing all these things, and you become just a better person.
It hurts the person, not the advisor.
Yes.
It hurts the person.
Yes.
Let the person be hurt.
Yes.
Honestly, that's why I was telling Mahdi, did you lose your mind yet? I genuinely believe I lost my mind, and I love it.
But what do you mean lose your mind?
You lose your emotions. You
I
lose
think,
your emotions.
I think it's his definition of lose your mind is just you're so in love with the process of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
You feel crazy.
And
You're
just
crazy
going
about
crazy.
it.
You're
Yeah,
just crazy
yeah.
about it, and you just keep doing it, and you love it, and
Because
you know what?
you're in
It's-
shock of how much you're capable of
Yeah.
and what of an unbelievable, blessed human you are.
It's insane. Everyone
It's
everyone
insane.
has it. It's just you gotta access it. You gotta be able to unlock it. And when you do unlock it, and you start having this dopamine effect, which I'm talking to you about, it's just this drive. It's like an energy drink that you drink, coffee, whatever. So
And that's why I think for me, I say maybe I lost my mind in the process and not literally lost my mind. But when you said to 25, then it changes. For me, it started at 25. And that's why my journey was a bit more bumpy psychologically. But I made sure to never take the same bump.
Yeah.
If I take it once, I took it, done. I took this bump, I learned from it, on to the next one.
Yeah.
I want another bump. I want 10 bumps, 20 bumps. 30, give me all the fucking bumps. Let's fucking grow. Let's fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
And this is what it takes. But people want to sit, open their phone, watch some reels, then talk shit, and then complain. And then complain that, oh, why am I only making X number?
Not only that, they start hating on people who are actually successful.
So
look at this guy. He's making millions. He's an idiot. Like he's a silly person. I mean,
I don't even read. You know what? I don't even read comments.
Because why would you?
definitely shouldn't.
I
Why
don't
would
read
you?
Comments. No, I don't read.
Why would
comments.
you?
No, you cannot. But like,
I read very selective from my team that comes to me. It does affect you. The negativity does affect you. I stay away from it. And it's not just one platform. I'm looking at more than 10 platforms that I have content out. So like I constantly get different things coming. And now recently with the growth of the company, it's coming to the team as well, not just me. So Amani, for example, the other day she's like, Mahdi, I can't do this anymore. You know, and I'm like, hey, listen, I don't want to force you or pressure you to be anywhere that you don't want to be. But if you, because she likes it. She loves creating the content, and she likes it when it goes positive. She also likes it when she doesn't like it when it doesn't go positive. She hates it. So I'm like, so why can't we tailor a few things to always have that positive feedback? You can turn hate to love. Same way you can turn love to hate. You can do it. Start, but let's not engage with them. You know, a big mistake, and this could be an advice for you guys, you know, building something or for whoever's watching, when you start receiving hate, just keep going.
Yeah, that's the time to keep
Just
going.
keep going. That's a good thing. Keep going.
The
Don't
distraction.
stop.
The distraction.
yeah, you're always gonna have haters.
Don't stop. Just keep going. And you know, those haters one day could love what you do and the content that you do. Keyboard warriors.
I never understood these people.
Keyboard warriors.
Have you ever written a bad comment
Never.
anywhere in my life? I don't think I've ever written
I
a
have an
comment.
experience. So I had this post go out about banning everyone in the company to communicate on email via text or messages, and they had to do voice notes or video messages to their clients as sales. Because I'm like, we're a media company. If you want to succeed, stop doing boring text, stop doing boring emails, create a video, put it in a link, upload it onto a private YouTube, put it as a link, send it to your client, because it just shows we're capable of a media company. Love in Dubai picked it up, posted it, and then it started getting negative after negative. Celebrities, big celebrities posting, oh no, I don't do this. And then what happened is, so I'm just like sitting back and analyzing. I'm like, okay, it's getting the hate. Chill, Matthew, calm down. And then people started calling me, oh my God, what have you done? I don't believe in this. I'm like, great. Then a news channel called me, radio, come to our show. Let's talk about it. So I went there, and they're like, we're going to ask you some questions. It's not going to be, maybe to your perspective or opinion. I know we're running out of time. I'm going to wrap it up.
No. Don't worry.
And then I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. So in the thing, she started asking me some questions to put me on the spot. And then I told her, I'm like, I respect everybody's opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It's their way of thinking. I respect it. I appreciate it. I feel like as long as I'm delivering a message that I'm not disrespecting anything towards anyone's background, anyone's culture, anyone's religion, anyone's politics. I have an opinion too.
Yeah.
If everybody were to sit there and like my opinion, then I'd be the best in the world, or any other person would be the best in the world.
Even the
You'd
best
be
in
the
the world.
fakest in the world if everyone likes
I'm
your
good.
opinion.
You
I'm
can't.
good.
You
I
can't.
appreciate everyone's opinion. I respect it and I love it. and I'm gonna keep going where I'm going. I believe I can show change, and I'm gonna do it the way I'm doing. People want to comment, let them comment, no problem.
One addition to this topic: prophets who were chosen from God weren't accepted and loved by everyone. They got shit. So nobody in this world is made to only get positivity. You can't. It's impossible. The system, it was not made like that.
I think a lot of it is because a lot of people have ego, and I think they one of the things that even maybe stops them from taking risk is because they don't want to hear bad. They don't want a bad response to the thing they do. So they think, actually, if I don't do anything, I never get bad responses. Then that means I am
That's
good.
very true.
I am good. I am perfect.
That's very true.
As long as I don't do this and I don't embarrass myself, no one can say anything
Very
about
true.
me. But in a sense, they have nothing to offer, or they might, but they're just, it's like their brain playing tricks on themselves. They actually think that makes sense. But at the end of the day, just do it.
Digging a deeper hole.
Yeah, they're
You
just
can't.
digging. Yeah. They're just like, I'm not doing this because I don't like. I know I can do this, but I would rather not do it because I don't want someone to say I'm not good at this or whatever. And this it starts at university days or school days, and it's with everything in your life, not just content. Everything you do with your life, a lot of the time you don't want to do it because you're like, if I do this, it's not going to be 100%, or I know I can be 100%, but I don't want to hear this negative feedback. So I'm just going to sit and not do this.
I love negative feedback. It's constructive criticism to me. I look at it. I'm like, if they have a point, I'll change.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a point, then it's just an opinion from them. I respect it. Thank you.
I like that.
Great. Now let me do my thing. As long as I'm not damaging or hurting anyone or destroying anything along my way, I'll go ahead and do it. There's a saying by Gary Vee. It's like, build your tower. So you have the tallest tower in the world. Build the second or the tallest tower in the world, not by destroying the previous tower. Build it, go on top of the rooftop, look at your opponent on the bottom and wave at them and smile. That's a beautiful mindset to have. You're not destroying anyone out there. You're doing what you're doing. And this, have that perspective towards anything that you do in life. And if it's to do with content, then it's to do with content, and you'll be there.
Yeah.
And volume beats quality.
I agree with that, yeah.
Volume beats quality.
Quantity over quality.
Definitely.
In media.
I have this saying, I'd love to come up with stuff that I say, 80% quality, 20% fuck it.
80% quality?
80% quality, 20% fuck it. Why? This podcast could be something to your eyes, to his eyes, and to my eyes. There's no word as perfect. And this is what people get stuck in. They get stuck in this perfect content. Well, what is it? Perfect to you is not perfect to me. So how is it perfect? It doesn't exist. This word in the content world does not exist. It shouldn't. It should be removed. And procrastination should also be removed. Stop thinking twice. Take off 3 things in your list about what your content is. As long as it's not hurting, damaging, ethical, right? Post. If it gets 10 views or 1 million views, it's still content. Get it out there.
A lot of people are imagine how silly some people are. They're even scared that their friends might come and say, oh, why you posted this?
Well,
Look
they're
at
not
you.
your friends.
But,
They're not your friends.
Even if the other day my friend, one of my very best friends told me, he's like, bro, enough phones away, laptops away. Just how about you hire a few good-looking individuals and create some content and post it. I'm like, I literally said, okay, heart, I'm not going to do what he asked me to do. I'm going to continue posting no phones, laptops away, because that's me.
I get this sometimes, and definitely not go back and forth trying to prove why I'm going to do it.
Oh, no, I
So
stopped
thumbs
that.
up. Thumbs up. Thanks for your contribution, but I think it's not sufficient for my digestion. See you
I think
later.
there is a lot of people who actually think that if they find a problem with the thing you're doing, they are smart because they're like, he doesn't know. Like anything you can do, you can build the perfect table. Oh, but look at this edge.
It's okay, as long as people will buy it, I'm good. Let them buy it. Let them
But it
enjoy
still holds the glass.
But some people think that they have to comment. They have to say something because then you'll think, oh, wow, he commented.
I appreciate the commenters because the algorithms of every single platform works better and higher when people start to engage and to comment.
Yeah,
Sometimes I make mistakes on the captions purposely in spellings. I purposely make a mistake because someone is sitting there wanting to correct me.
Yeah.
Wait.
That comment is going to pick up my piece and put it out there more.
Yeah.
So I purposely, I'm like, no problem, I made a spelling
And
mistake.
it's a known thing to make mistakes. Like
course.
I know a content maker, she created a magazine to send to influencers to take pictures holding her magazine. And she made a spelling mistake on the magazine and it went crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone was engaging, so much engagement. And then she started making fun of it. It was like a whole thing. It was like a perfect thing.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, on that note, amazing. Fucking
Because there's
amazing.
how many people snapping perfect magazines?
Yeah, it's
And on the
nothing
other
to
side,
speak about.
how many people are spamming?
And there are people who are waiting to correct you, waiting
Yeah.
to say that you did something wrong or something right. Well, this was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mahdi. Thank you, Omar. I don't know how we did it so fast. You know what I
it
love
flew.
about this is that we do it without any preparation. It's just true. We just sit because one thing that I said to myself, I don't want this to be a source of stress. I don't want it to stress me. I don't want to stress about it. I want to do it because I enjoy it. It's genuine. It is me just talking to my friends, to people, to interesting people. I don't want stress about this.
Yeah.
And another thing as well to people who are trying to be good at public speaking, never memorize.
Just speak.
Never memorize.
yeah.
Just speak. I never memorize.
I don't memorize, but I have certain points
Yeah,
in my head that
points.
I'm like, okay, I pick up a word and I just go with it,
Yeah. But
so
never try to
I
do a
don't
script. That's great. Whenever you have a script, you're broken. You don't make sense. You're stuttering. Just
stop creating, start documenting.
speak. Yeah.
Creating requires a script, documenting does not require.
It's just you on your
I
own with
like
a camera.
documenting. Yeah, I like documenting. Perfect. Thank you.